Hey yo yo. Hi everyone. Fix this. What's up, Facebook, YouTube, and also Instagram on the side. Hope you're doing well. Right. So I'm coming on this live today to have really serious conversation with you. Like I'm not here to have fun today. I'm not playing. And it's a conversation that oh my god, I have a pimple. It's a conversation that needs to be had because I have been in this market for almost 2 years or maybe over 2 years. I've almost been in my business full time for more than a year. I don't know anymore. Anyway, when I got into this industry, everybody was always saying, like, oh, the industry is so crowded, do you really want to go that route with online coaching, la 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 la. And I used to be like, yeah, I do think it's crowded and it would make me feel really anxious. As I got good at selling and I started to get clients and I would speak with different experts on different levels, it became really clear to me that most people are just performing entrepreneurship. And performing entrepreneurship is what creates this false perception that people are doing better than they actually are. And I want you to not fall for it because the reality of the whole situation is that most people don't have the clients they pretend they have. Most people don't know how to enroll clients into their business. And this is something that you should really be worried about because where we are at right now is that people have over invested in their business, they've over invested in content. So now we have two types of leaders, right? And I wouldn't even call the first one a leader, I would just say an expert. You have the expert that has the certification, that has had free clients, that has signed clients here and there, but is mostly content heavy and is mostly relying on her content to get engagement and is just telling herself, I'm building momentum, I'm building momentum, while her bank account is just getting drained. And then we have the expert that is consistently signing clients that, because they have the practical skill of doing business, is able to think strategically, is able to take the next step in her business because hey, in business we just keep climbing to the top. If I look at, I watch one video from Myron Golden every morning, and I just remind myself also where he got started, and how he's literally like, how much he charges now, right? But it's because he had the tactical skill also of sales, of doing business, right? So we have those two types of people in the online space. It seems like it's a world of its own where you see a lot of people, posting content, their messaging is great, and you're like, wow, these pictures, they look so beautiful, this person must be so successful. Most people are performing entrepreneurship because I can tell you that I have personally spoken with a lot of ladies like this that don't have any clients, don't know how to send messages, and they freeze when an objection comes up. But they're fully aligned in their content, but deep down they know and they see their bank account and they see that it's draining, it's getting drained. They're investing, no return, no return. Okay, you have to snap out of this. If you are in a situation right now where you are growing your business, okay, you're growing your business, you're building momentum, but you're not consistently signing clients, you have to snap out of it. Because the reality is that the middle class is disappearing. And I didn't invent this. This is just data. The middle class is disappearing, and I will tie this back to the island where I live on. So I live on a Caribbean island. It's called Curacao. If you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful island, like really blue waters. You can go to the beach, really relax. What's happening right now is that there is a boom in tourism. I think the island went viral on TikTok or something. There's a boom in tourism, which means there's more people with more money coming from the outside, buying real estate. And you know what happens, right? Like whenever there is an increased demand, also the price is gonna go up. So that's what's happening. So what happens is with the local people, it's putting them at a disadvantage because they cannot afford to buy the houses given the increase in the price. So this is just it doesn't start here. This is something that's happening worldwide, right? There's just the wages are not increasing as fast as inflation is, right? So inflation is higher than the wage increase. At the same time, we have also reached a economic point. J economics, yes, we've also reached a point where we've maxed out in terms of productivity when we're talking about labor. Okay, exactly. So we are seeing a shift in the way that the bottom and the top is. The middle class, like you cannot be middle class because the middle is disappearing. All of these corporate jobs, we now have AI, okay? They are already predicting that headcount in companies is gonna go down. Headcount in companies is gonna go down because they're gonna find ways of automating. They're gonna find ways of, for example, I saw on TikTok the other day, like a marketing director having their own AI agent. I'm not fear mongering, okay? I'm not fear mongering, and I'm not saying that you're gonna be out of a job. What I'm saying is you made the right move in terms of monetizing your knowledge and your intelligence, but you have to get serious with it. If your business is not generating revenue, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And when you have a hobby, okay, in this economy, you have two options. Either you switch it around and you take it seriously and you learn how to sell, how to generate that revenue in your business, or you're going to sink to the bottom, or you're going to exit the industry, or you're going to go back to the 9 to 5, right? So you have to contextualize things. Again, I'm not here to do any fear mongering. I am not here to say, hey, you have to do X, Y, and Z. I am presenting the data to you about what is happening in the world. And I am giving you a wake up call because somehow in the online space, everyone got so obsessed with nurturing, with content, with energetics, with mindset, with all of these things. Whereas the reality is that if you are a woman, you need to be prioritizing your financial sovereignty right now if you're a human being, period. Okay, so it's either you rise to the top or you sink to the bottom. And it's not your choice in the sense of what's happening around you. What you can control, however, is how you go about your business. So the question is, are you leading in sales? Are you leading in client acquisition? Or are you avoiding it? Ask yourself that question. Leading in sales looks very different from avoiding it. So you already know the answer. I don't even have to explain it, but I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it because that's what I'm here for. Okay. Avoiding sales looks like this. I'm going to do a launch. I'm going to do a launch. I'm going to do an event. I'm going to invite a bunch of people to my event. I'm going to have a bunch of automations, but I refuse to. I refuse to send a personalized message to them because hey, they just need to come in my event and buy. All right, that's one. The second thing is instead of taking action in my business, instead of sitting down and having conversations with people, because we all know that conversations is what's gonna convert, I'm gonna buy that mindset coaching package. I'm gonna buy that mindset coaching package because when I sit down and I have to work, I don't feel aligned. I don't feel aligned and I need to do work on my mindset. Okay, that's another thing. That's avoidance. Hiding behind mindset work is avoidance. Hiding behind content is avoidance. Starting conversations with people in the DMs but never extending a direct invitation is avoidance. Rewriting your offer again instead of going out there and selling it is avoidance. Investing in coaching time and time after again, always needing to be in a container, always needing someone to validate you, it's avoidance. And it's exactly the things that are draining your pocket because you feel like you need to grab more knowledge, more information in order for you to take action in your business. And it's exactly the thing that's going to ensure that you sink to the bottom because you cannot live on no cash. We live in a world that's ran by cash, money, okay? And knowing is not enough to receive money. Money comes, deals are closed when you make a financial transaction. That's when you receive the money. So if you want to rise to the top, you need to have the ability, the skill, the emotional intelligence, the leadership to have conversations with people, to understand their pain point, and to walk them through that transaction with you. Without this skill, it's going to be really difficult in business. Because, yes, actually, you can build a business without really great sales skills, but you're never going to be able to charge premium. And when you're not charging premium and you have kind of a commodity product, like people that build a lot of digital products as their main business model, you're competing on price. And so many people now with AI can create that. So if you want to make sure you're rising to the top, you better work on your sales skills. There's no room for avoidance. Everybody that's avoiding is being kicked out of this industry. And I'm seeing it with people that I've spoken to a year ago. They're not posting anymore. I'm seeing it with people that were like, no, 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 alignment, energetics, la, la, la. They're not posting anymore. They went and found a job. And you're going to be in that position as well if you don't lean in with your skills, sales skills, conversational skills, communication skills, listening skills, emotional leadership. It's not an energetic investment away. It's focus, it's leaning into the masculine, the things women don't want to do. What is sales leadership? What is it? Number one is it starts with clarity. What do you sell? What do you do? What transformation do you provide? Sales leadership looks like having boundaries as well with people. And it's something I had to learn the hard way. Because when I started my business, I started a free business. So I was like giving a lot of things for free because, hey, I don't like to see that my hair is like going up. Anyway, I started my business like free model. So I was giving a lot of value. People were coming on a call, and then that would lead to a financial transaction. But now I'm like, wait a minute. No, 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 no. Not giving value for free and things like that. If you want the result, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me because I'm not running a charity. I live off of this business. I don't have a rich husband that sends me money or buys me things. I am my rich husband. So I'm going to be working for that, which means I take my business seriously and I step it up when it comes to leadership. I don't care if I'm 28. I don't care. I show up like that. My messaging, I'm consistently working on improving it. But I don't say I'm going to work on this and I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to have conversations with people in the DMs. You're going to find me in your DMs. Okay? I will find you. I will find you. And I will be very nice to you because I want us as women to rise. That's what I'm here for. I can guide you through this decision making. That's what leadership looks like. I know the steps because I have the structure to guide you through making this decision that is ultimately here to empower you. And I'm confident in my ability to help you make that decision. That's leadership. I can look at my market and I can see the numbers and I can tell myself, you know what? It's time to pivot. It's time to go up. It's time to make yourself uncomfortable again so that you can keep rising to the top. That's leadership. I would never be stuck in avoidance because it's not who I am. It's just not part of my personality, okay? In business, maybe in relationships. I don't know. I don't have a boyfriend. I wouldn't know. Avoidance keeps you underpaid. Authority turns your brilliance into booked calls, into opportunities offline, into premium clients, and it's the thing that magnetizes people to you. Real embodied leadership is what's going to get you to the top. Performing entrepreneurship is not going to last because people can see through it. I can see through it because I'm on the other side of it. Okay. Performing entrepreneurship looks like the content is perfect, the messaging is polished, the website is beautiful, you look professional. But I don't see you talk about your clients because you don't have any, because you don't sell, because your business doesn't generate cash. I don't know how you're surviving. I don't know if you have a trust fund or if it's credit card debt. The middle class is disappearing. You already know that the longer you go on that way, where you're going to end up. Okay? So, who are you becoming is the real question. I'm not asking you who you want to be, I'm asking you who you are becoming. Because the future is just the result of compounded actions from the past and from now. And I mean that in the literal sense. Everything that I'm doing right now, this video that I'm creating, it's a digital asset. Someone is going to find it, they're going to watch it, they're going to understand my way of thinking, they're going to binge my content, and they're going to work with me. Because I will extend them an invitation as well. Because I will follow up with them. Because I will show them that I am that leader and they will see it. Who are you becoming with the actions you are putting in today or are not putting in today? Who are you surrounded by? Are you surrounded by successful entrepreneurs or people in your family, friends that are also successful at entrepreneurship? And I can tell that some of you aren't. Because if you were surrounded by entrepreneurs that are successful, you would not be avoiding sales in your business. You would be following up with people. You would be extending that invitation. You would be investing in your business. Who are you becoming? Are you going to rise to the top or are you going to sink to the bottom? If you are in the middle right now, you have a choice. As long as you're aware of it, you have a choice, but it's not going to be much longer because the way things move in this world, we have to be bold. I try to be bold, but I feel like I can be bolder. Definitely. I'm like, I can be bolder because I am not sinking to the bottom. I am rising to the top. Okay. So who are you becoming? And with that, If you feel like this is hitting home for you, and you know you've been operating from avoidance, even though your work is powerful, you have the receipts for it, so you have client results, okay? You have the certifications, you know you're an expert. I invite you to rise to the top with me, okay? So I still have a few openings, not this week anymore, but for next week for the 90-minute positioning deep dive. And in this deep dive, I don't approach positioning like how people approach it. People talk about positioning like it's some framework that you need to have, but it's literally about understanding very deeply with buyer psychology on different layers, because people are layered, their current reality, their current lived experiences, and how your offer is positioned to get them out of that and into their desired reality. That's what we're going to discuss. Okay. And I believe in identity selling. So that's what we're going to work on, how to shift it and position it like an identity level transformation based on their current lived experiences, and in a way that you're not only talking about your offer, but you're also putting it in the context of the world. Okay, so it's 200 US dollars, which is honestly very little for what you get out of it. So just DM me the word untouchable, and I will send you the Stripe link, and we're gonna book that session from next week onward. It's 90 minutes. Okay, don't hesitate. Remember, who do you want to become? Are you rising to the top? Okay, or are you sinking to the bottom? The middle doesn't exist anymore. Okay, that's what I wanted to share today.